Boom. I had a few videos ago asked for me to share what my morning routine is. And so today what I want to do is I just really want to talk about a morning routine, and I'm going to just preface this with, listen, if something works for me doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. I'm just going to share some ideas. I think what tends to happen when it comes to like morning routines is, and I know this from the personal development space, we can try to like cram everything in, and then that just overloads and taxes our nervous system, and then we just feel like, like, you know what I mean? We can't be consistent in sticking to it because we're just so overwhelmed by it. And so I'm a big believer in less is more, and with just starting slow. And so I'm going to back this way up into 2011-ish, when I was actually discovering that, hey, I should have a morning routine. I used to identify as someone that was quote unquote not a morning person. And again, what you believe to be true about yourself is how you actually show up. And so I struggled hard. Back then, my kids were so much younger. And again, we're going to start this with, yes, you might be in a season of life that's a little bit more hectic. And so where I am currently today is nowhere near where I was back then, right? And so this could also apply to you. So just be open, be totally open to listening to this, and then let's have some conversations in the comments. But I don't want you to walk away with, Crystal says I should have this strict routine and then this is how it's going to make me be successful in all the things. No, first of all, we're going to shake that energy out. What we're going to do is we're going to focus on starting small. And so the best thing to actually have the best morning routine is to have a nighttime routine. So you're going to want to check that video out first and then come back to this video. However, if you've already seen that video, let's get into today's video of, should I have a morning routine? The answer is, I honestly believe that for you to be able to feel like you fit yourself back in your day, because that's why I wanted to start a morning routine, it's going to be essential that you set something up. And so as you saw from the last video, for like starting at the nighttime routine, you're going to need to plan for the morning routine, right? You need to plan out your day. So let's get into it. What did I do back in 2011 when my kids were so little? I would literally wake up at the same time as them, and I would feel like I was already 30 steps behind. Like I just felt overwhelmed and everything. And so what I had to do, and just again, like I shared, I used to identify as someone who was not a morning person. What I had to do was really just retrain my brain and flip up that pattern, like break that habit. And what I would do is I would wake up 10 minutes earlier. Literally 10 minutes earlier. 10 minutes before my kids got up, I was already awake. I was already sipping. I'd already had water and I was sipping my coffee, right? And then I would just incrementally back it up until I can have an hour to myself. Woo! And so what I want to do for you is share with you what I still do in this hour to myself, even though my kids are a lot older now. A few of them have actually flown from the nest, and we are, we're so close to being empty nesters. As my youngest one is in grade 10, I still carve out this time for me. And so what I do upon waking up is I get up and I'll do my stretches, right? It's like good to have good stretches and just like some movement in your body. And I will make my way to the kitchen and I pour a tall glass of water. I always want to make sure that I'm hydrated before I caffeinate. And so I get this water in, and then as I'm drinking my water, I've already made my coffee. Like the machine is making the coffee. And so I like to sit down and I use my planner. So I do have the 120 method. And I'm just going to go through what I do in this with my planner. And so I sit down with my planner, and the first thing that I do is I sit down and I note 3 things that I'm grateful for. The reason I think this is so important is because it really just helps you tap into the energy. Now, there are some days where I wake up and I'm exhausted, or like I can't seem to find anything to be grateful for. I just go to like the littlest things, hearing the birds chirp, the fact that, I felt the warm breeze on my face, whatever it is, you want to tap into. I say, for myself, what I say is 3 things that I'm grateful for, and I will write those down. And then what I do is I start to get ready for the gym. So the night prior, have already laid out the clothes that I'm going to use to go work out in. So I jump in those clothes. I'll have like a high protein snack or like breakfast, depending on how hungry I am. Sometimes I do train fasted as well, but I really just go based on where I am in my cycle and how I'm feeling energetically. And then I grab my water bottle and I get out the door. The reason I get my workout in first thing in the morning is because for me, if I don't, based on my scheduling, and from experience, have found that if I don't claim this time for me as sacred, my schedule gets filled up with all the other obligations. And sometimes these obligations are other people's things that need to be done. And so then I'm just rushing again and I'm feeling like I've not filled my own cup. And so I will either go for a hot health walk first thing in the morning if I'm not training that day, or I will get to the gym and I will train. And if I'm shorter on time because I'm traveling for work that day, or I need to travel out of town because I do travel quite a bit, then I will do like a quick session, like I call them like a kettlebell quickie or something from home. And then I get that out first thing in the morning. It's also really cool because it's before your brain is like actually fully awake, like you're already in the motion. So now you're just going to follow through. Like getting started is halfway done, right? So then when I'm done that, what I like to do is I come home, and this is important. This is important. Please do not miss this step. I will make my bed. They've actually done studies that show that the minute that you achieve, like you check something off of your to-do list, right? And I know making your bed might not be something that you aspire to, or you might not think that it actually means very much, but they've done studies that just show like you've completed a task. And trust me, the future you that's going to climb into that bed tonight will be very thankful that all the blankets are not bunched up, And so that was also something that I had to really repattern from back in 2011, because I used to never make my bed. I would just make it before I was getting in the bed, right? Or just like fluff the blankets and go to sleep, which would annoy my husband because the sheets would be all still bunchy. And so making my bed, for me, again, you're going to listen to these tips and I'm going to encourage you to try 1 or 2. The main one being maybe getting up 5 minutes earlier, 10 minutes earlier to see if you have more calm. I find starting my day again more calm is going to just really set the tone. It helps me set the intention as well. So that is what I'm doing in that calmness, is I'm setting the intention. I'm tapping into my gratitude practice. I get dressed. I go and I train. I come home, I make my bed, and then what I'll do is I'll get ready to smash the rest of the day because I already feel like I've accomplished something great, right? I've taken care of what's important to me, and so this is what I wanted to share with you. So I would love to hear in the comments below if you do have a morning routine, what your routine actually looks like, or if you don't have a routine, share with me 1 or 2 things that you're going to try to implement if you're interested in that. I would love to hear that. Let's just have this conversation in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. If you enjoyed this content, could you just hit the like button? Then I'll know that you enjoyed this, and actually it lets the algorithm know that you enjoy this content, and it'll show it to other people that could also potentially like this. Thank you again to all the subscribers for subscribing and for sharing my content out like to others that can subscribe. If you are watching this and you have not subscribed, could you please subscribe and hit the notification bell? This way you'll be the first to know when content like this drops, like when I drop new videos. And I'm so grateful for this. Thank you so much for being here. Doing this and sharing this kind of stuff means so much to me. This is something I've been wanting to do forever. And so just having you here in my space, we're hanging out and learning from each other. It means so much to me. As always, be brave, be bold, be you. Ba-dum boom. Yeah.